Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for November 2025. I hope this video finds you well. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, without further delay, let's see what's coming for Taurus this November. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Devil, the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Coins, the Knight of Swords, Five of Cups. We also have Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Eight of Coins, and the Emperor. So the main energy that you're working with when it comes to love and romance is the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about feeling in control. It's all about stability. It's all about having a firm foundation. Okay, so we're going to keep that in mind as we go through the reading. Okay, so the first card that came up for you is the Ace of Swords. So all the aces represent new beginnings, but this card represents kind of a change in the way that you're thinking. And sometimes when this comes up, there has been some type of like mental clarity, like you finally understand something that you didn't know. Or sometimes the truth is revealed to you even from another, by another person. This just means that if there has been confusion, and there is confusion right here in the Seven of Cups, it's like, that light bulb moment. You finally know. It's the aha moment, like you finally know the truth about something where you really weren't in the know. But sometimes the Ace of Swords does represent, just kind of changing the way that you're thinking. Now something's kind of going on here. You have this energy of the Devil. It's a major arcana. And the Devil does sometimes represent unhealthy relationships, especially when it comes to love. And this is a love reading. So this can represent an unhealthy relationship. It may, but it may be something else. It could be that your partner is being very pessimistic, or that they have some type of addiction. Or if you're single, this can be that you're very disappointed, or you're just you're not feeling very happy with being single. So seeing the Ace of Swords, I feel like you might have some type of clarity when it comes to understanding why you're still single. And seeing the Seven of Cups there, you're no longer confused. You finally understand like what has been blocking your love life. Remember that the main energy is the Emperor. So that is a message of stability and feeling in control. So obviously when you're giving into negative thinking here, you're no longer in control. You're kind of feeding that energy. And I feel like something happens in the month of November where you finally connect the dots as far as what has been blocking your love life. I'm even hearing the word like polluting your love life. And this may be for singles and couples. It can be that there's something going on with your partner, like issues being brought home from work, or maybe there's not enough communication. I feel like this is something that like has been kind of like eating away at you. Like something, I don't know, like something or someone interfering in your relationship and you didn't know. And again, the Ace of Swords represents truth. Like you finally understand what this is all about. This could even be something that you were completely unaware, that was happening, and now you finally know. Seven of Cups. This card represents confusion. It represents being so overwhelmed emotionally that you can't think rationally. You can't think clearly. I mean, seeing this next to the Devil, I feel like there has been something unpleasant kind of happening in either your relationship or in your love life. Like maybe if you're single, you don't understand like why you have been meeting people who embody the energy of the devil. So people who are maybe really pessimistic, negative, or have addictions. You know, there's this element of confusion here. But I feel, you know, seeing the Ace of Swords as the first card, that you finally, you know, understand. I'm even kind of feeling when I look at this card like somebody kind of reveals this to you. And it could be that somebody shows their true colors, or someone kind of points something out to you. This is the energy of just being confused. But it also represents sometimes too many choices. For those who are single, there might be, you know, more than one partner that you're interested in the month of November. You're confused. And I feel like, you know, if that's the case, then you're meeting different people. There could be one that is not the right partner for you. In order for you to figure this out, you're really going to have to think things through carefully. With the Ace of Swords being there, I feel like Spirit is advising you to be cautious when you're meeting new people. I feel like you might be confused because maybe you're attracted to different people. But I feel like you will have clarity, but at the same time, there's this element of confusion. Now, the next card that you have is the Ace of Coins. So this is a new beginning, and this represents happiness. This card, it's kind of like happiness, blessings, or love, or all the above. This just seems to kind of like fall into your lap. Almost like the energy of the Nine of Cups, which is not here. This is not usually something that you work really hard to achieve, which you know, kind of like the Three of Pentacles, which is not here. You do have the Eight of Pentacles right here, but this is just kind of like something like you just get lucky and the universe hands you this blessings. And this is a love reading. I feel like you will be pleasantly surprised by a sudden change in a relationship or turn of events. Again, since this is a love reading, this, like a new person comes into your life, like you find love in an unexpected place. But I feel, you know, this came after the Seven of Cups, so I feel like there might be some confusion getting into this place here. This is just kind of like, you know, love finally happening for you for those who are single. Now, for those who are already in a relationship, I feel like, you know, there will be plenty of happiness in good times. This is a Suit of Pentacles, so even though this is a love reading, I feel like financially, like things will fall together for you in the month of November. So if you're like arguing over finances has been kind of an issue with your partner, I feel like that won't be an issue. This is just kind of blessings, and I feel like this is, you know, really kind of positive omen, whether you're single or in a relationship. You also have the Knight of Swords. So this represents, you know, being really impulsive, spontaneous. And I mean, it can be a positive card or it can be a challenge depending on the cards that are around it. And the cards that are around it are the Ace of Coins and the Five of Cups. Okay, so I especially feel this strongly for those who are single. I feel like, and I said that already, you know, when I was looking at this card before really tuning into this, I feel for those who are single that you're either like in the middle of picking between two partners, or you will be meeting two or more partners in the month of November. And they want you to, you know, really think things through carefully before making a decision. Because the Knight of Swords is not this energy of, you know, being grounded and kind of making the right decision. And this is kind of throwing caution to the wind and just kind of, you know, taking a crazy chance. This is, you know, being impulsive and spontaneous and doing something impulsive. But I feel like, you know, you're doing this because it's like the universe presents you with this blessing. And it might be for those who are single that suddenly there are so many new people that are interested in you, or you're meeting all the right people And so you kind of feel like, oh, I have my choice of partner, and so I'm going to go with this partner. Without really, checking in with your intuition. You want to be careful with that, because the Five of Cups is here for those who are single, kind of being a little bit too impulsive when it comes to relationships. If you're kind of in between partners, this can lead to heartache. The Five of Cups represents kind of being really disappointed that something didn't work out, dwelling on this loss, and just kind of replaying it over and over and over. But I feel like this does not have to happen. This is kind of like a possible scenario if you're being too impulsive, And I did mention this for those who are kind of single and looking, but I feel like this also ties in for those who are already in a relationship. With this Ace of Coins, I'm thinking every time I look at this card, I feel that it's connected to this one as well. Obviously, they're all kind of lined up together. For those who are already in a relationship, it's like, everything's going great for you. Everything's going great for you. So I feel like you're getting, you're going through something here, but you finally have clarity, and it's like you have the happiness that you want, and everything seems to be going great. But then, like, you might kind of go off and do something different. And I mean, it's hard to tell because this is a general reading, so it's hard to tell what this is. But this is like somebody doing the unexpected, because maybe you feel like your relationship is like, it's secure, and, I have nothing to worry about. Not that you should always be paranoid, but I feel like this is something even kind of like out of character, because you feel that you have that security. I mean, you do get that happiness, but I feel like they're warning you about doing something crazy, kind of like, taking a trip, around the world without your partner. Something like that, something that is going to kind of disturb the energy of your relationship. Again, the same thing that I told the singles, this leads to some type of unhappiness. This leads to loss. Doing something crazy here, something that's not well thought out, will lead to, unhappiness and tears and possible separation. So I feel like, this is something that does not have to happen for you. Remember, the main energy is, being grounded. The Emperor is very grounded and stable, kind of building a firm foundation for his future. Since this is a love reading, you're building a firm foundation for having a family, or if you already have that family, you're building on that. You're creating more stability for your children and creating a stronger bond between you and your partner. Now down here, the Page of Swords. Now to me, the Page of Swords, it's very, very similar to the Ace of Swords, because they both represent truth. And I feel like here, someone is completely like honest, and it could be you. It could be you, that you're completely honest with your partner, maybe about this energy of the devil, like something that you have been going through. You finally want to talk about it in order to have the stability. The card next to it here suggests that being honest will pay off for you. The Knight of Cups represents change in your love life, and it is a really positive card. This is like a knight in shining armor coming into your life. I'm going to stick with couples for now so I don't confuse myself. I feel like open communication about, you feel like, your partner is no longer your knight in shining armor. Maybe, there's some stress on the relationship. Like I said, it's hard to say because it's a general reading. Maybe you feel like you don't have that stability for some reason. I feel like, communication from the Page of Swords, honest, this is always like honest communication to the point of being blunt, will bring back this energy of the Knight of Cups to where your partner is once again your knight in shining armor. But I feel like, it takes time. You have the Eight of Coins here. This is, pretty much like a work in progress. You have to kind of keep building on the relationship, and kind of seeing, what's going on here. This message of, the devil and the Seven of Cups, it just seems like there's something kind of unhealthy there and confusion. But there's a possibility of you, being in the know, you having clarity, and finally knowing the truth. The truth is here, and the truth is here, and happiness is here. This is you finally receiving that love and that happiness. But it's like, open your eyes, see the truth, maybe even speak the truth in order to have the stability. I feel like, refusing to see the truth here with the Seven of Cups, of maybe like not even wanting to know. Sometimes, people, they're like, ignorance is bliss. You don't want to know, what's going on in your love life or with your partner. The Seven of Cups is just confusion. It's confusion. Confusion leads to heartache in this reading. And then, and more work. So I feel like you may have to be completely, honest with your partner if you're feeling unhappy or you see something unhealthy in the relationship. Hard to say because I'm getting so many different messages and there's no way I could possibly kind of play out every scenario that I'm getting, but that's what I'm getting for couples. Now I want to go back to this for singles because this just means, truth, like being your true self, not putting on a false mask when you are dating. This could even be for those who are single. I'm getting being completely honest with somebody that maybe that you're attracted to, because that energy is right here. There could be someone that you feel is your knight in shining armor, male or female, doesn't matter. And it could be that either they're being honest with you in the month of November or you're being honest with them, kind of saying like, I really like you and I'd like to get to know you. Again, the Eight of Pentacles, they're telling you that there's going to be a lot of work to do. They're not telling you, we'll see what comes up from this deck over here, but they're not telling you that this is not going to work out for you. If anything, I feel like, you will be building on that relationship. When it comes to somebody that you're attracted to. Again, going back to the main energy, you're creating stability for yourself. You're feeling in control. I feel like those who are single are meant to be feeling empowered in the month of November. Okay, so let's see what confirmation cards come up. The King of Swords, the Knight of Swords. So this is a repeating card because we already have that card right here. The last one is going to be this one here, and it is the Queen of Cups. Okay, and you have the Two of Cups. So again, they're emphasizing that with this energy of the Two of Cups, it's a Six of Cups. So for some of you, like they might be telling you that this is connected to someone from the past, but not for everyone. The Two of Cups is the soulmate card. This is the energy of two people feeling a connection. So again, for those who are single, this is your time to shine right here, to be completely honest with someone like, I really like you, I'd like to get to know you. Yes, there may be work involved, but here you are together. This is two people finally, finding each other and, being like really connected emotionally. This is a card of falling in love. Now over here, and for some of you, this can be someone who is an air sign, male or female. There's 3 court cards. I don't normally read the Knights as court cards, but this can literally be, 3 people that you are interested in. And I did mention that over here with the Seven of Cups that there's too many choices and you're confused. I would say for those who are single, it could be someone who's an air sign and then someone else who's an air sign, maybe a little bit younger than this person, someone who's a water sign. So that can be, a message for those who are single. But the King of Swords, this is an energy of kind of like using your mind and your intellect for something positive, and just kind of seeing, what's going on here as far as cards from the suit of air. And there are a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of cards. I feel like it would be a lot going on in your head in the month of November. A lot of thoughts, and this can be positive for you. You can really kind of put your thinking cap on, especially this card is right next to the Ace of Swords, which, like I said, represents truth and mental clarity. So I feel like be objective, because you already have this energy here of being confused and even kind of overwhelmed, but you can, use your mind in a positive way to finally kind of understand what's going on in your love life. And, you have this energy again of the Knight of Swords. So there's the possibility of you being, again, I'm going to say spontaneous, impulsive, and seeing this between the King and the Queen, again, hard to say because this is a general reading, but seeing this card again when it's right here, this is a strong message. I feel like somebody might be kind of jumping the gun for those who are single when you're meeting, here's the King and the Queen, and here's the love, here's the relationship. You might be tempted to just kind of jump, kind of say, I want to be in this relationship, when really you should take your time. Obviously, this is only going to apply to those who are single, but again, for those who are already coupled, this might be that you're feeling kind of impulsive when it comes to kind of, decisions, jumping the gun. Perhaps this has to do with this message here that I already talked about, so I won't get into it again. But I even feel like, this being impulsive in some way, I feel like, placing the card here, it comes between this King and Queen. Like, it comes between them. And kind of seeing that it's here again, next to this other Knight. This, there's this energy of unhappiness. I feel like don't really think through carefully when making decisions regarding your love life in November, because you're supposed to be creating stability for yourself, and I feel like being impulsive, you're not really thinking things through carefully. So the final card is the Queen of Cups, and this can be your partner, someone who's a water sign, male or female. For those who are single, it might be that the person you meet is a water sign, but the Queen of Cups is just kind of, being connected to your heart. So I feel like for you this month, they're really emphasizing that they want you to kind of be on top of things mentally. Don't let your thoughts get the best of you. Instead, listen to your intuition. The Queen of Cups is a very intuitive energy. So you will know what to do about your relationship. When you're confused, when you need that mental clarity, you will have that, but you also have your intuition to help you. Okay, Taurus, I will end the reading here. I hope you enjoyed it. Much love and bless.